everybody, and welcome to my life lately. So today is going to be a flip through of my March in my A5 daily planner from Sterling Inc. So for those of you guys who are new here, I have set this up with you and I've really been enjoying it. Okay, I went from a common planner to this, so this has been my baby, and I actually really enjoy this planner. I still have yet to decorate my 2024 memories, so I apologize that this is still not done. I have to get my old phone out in order to get these all printed, but I use the Canon Ivy to do these prints. So if you guys were wondering, that's kind of what I do my pictures with. So if you hear a bunch of thunderstorms, whatnot, it's actually thunder and lightning out. So I'm hoping we don't lose power, but it is what it is. We lost power the other day for about 5 to 6 hours. So it's kind of crazy, but today is another thunderstormy day. It's the perfect day to cozy up on the couch, listen to like some really nice ambiance, and just read a book. Honestly, this is like my favorite time to do that, and I love spring so much. So spring is right around the corner. But yeah, so please ignore the thunder if you hear it. My dog is getting really skittish. So he is like right by me, and I'm hopefully you don't hear him heavy breathing over there in the background as well. But I did really well as far as keeping up with my habit trackers. I'm still doing really terrible when it comes to my AM skincare. I don't know what it is, why I can't get into the habit of doing it daily. I don't know, but I really want to work on that for the month of April. And yeah, so I'm really liking how this is going for me this month. I'm doing a lot better than February and January. So we gotta take our wins here when we can. Hold on a second while I figure something out for Kinsey. Alrighty, I just gave her another yogurt popsicle. I just put yogurt in a popsicle mold yesterday and some crushed up blueberries, and yeah, she's teething right now. She's got two more teeth coming in after her last two, and it's been back to back, so we've been dealing with a very fussy baby over here, but that's okay. So nothing really changed for my highlights, except for the daddy-daughter dance. I added that in there because that was a very, very special day. Then we'll go into my monthly calendar over here. And I was able to keep up with writing down my books and writing down the videos that I posted, but I ran out of room for the books, so I ended up having to put A Kingdom of Ash down here. And then there was one other book that I need to put in here, and that is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I was able to finish it Monday, so that was super exciting. Now I am currently reading the Crescent City series from Sarah J. Maas, and I am so excited about this because I purchased it in book form, like, because I wanted it, and then oh, that was a big one. I'm kind of hoping you guys hear the thunder, because if you don't, then you guys are just gonna be like, she's weird, she's just talking about the weather and we can't even hear it. But I actually purchased it, and then I was able to get it on my Libby loan at the same time I started reading it. So this was a super exciting one because I like when I can pull out my Kindle or I can read it from the book. That was really awesome. So no, it was not planned. I did have the Libby loan just because sometimes I read faster in certain points during the day on my Kindle over the book. So yeah. But yeah, we ended up switching Rosalie's birthday to a different day. So that was the only markup up here. And then I started back at work on the 15th. And so I didn't work this Saturday because my mother-in-law and sister-in-law came down. And so then I worked on the last Saturday. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump over to March, which, you guys, I am in love with my very first March page. Oh my goodness. Like, are you kidding me? Okay. I don't think any other month will compare to this one, but it turned out so cute. So the books that I read throughout the month, I wrote down, I did DNF a book. I wanted to read Shattered Wings. I think I got maybe 15 or 20% of the way through the book before I decided I no longer want to read it. It just, like, I felt like there was no love to the characters. Like, we were just reading a story about someone's life, and you didn't really get, I mean, you got behind the scenes of the life, but it just felt like there was no emotion there. Like, there was no emotion attached to these characters in the book. So I ended up DNFing it because I couldn't do it. I honestly, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I felt like I was reading one of my high school papers. Like, just yeah. If you've read it, you'd understand. But yeah, I ended up DNFing the book. It was rushed. It had no love to the characters. Like, I couldn't feel it. And I really wanted to, because it was a military romance. And my husband's in the military, so I definitely wanted to love that one. And I was really disappointed that it wasn't for me. So yes, for the goals this month, I did not finish crocheting my sister-in-law's birthday gift, which is why I put it on my April goals. Film, edit, and upload another planty video. I did do that. Started working on the basement and getting it cleared up. I did a lot of the work just before we had my husband's cousin over. So yeah, I got quite a bit of it done. I'm still having to go through and declutter a lot of things, getting rid of things we no longer need and just donating them or tossing them depending on, their worth or whatever. So yeah, I have not yet donated anything, but I do have a box, that I'm working on filling. So the first day of March, I am obsessed with my Phalaenopsis orchid doodle. Like, I don't think I've ever doodled an orchid this good. And it's not perfect. Like, I know I could have added, another flower and maybe another bud, but honestly, I am impressed, and I impressed myself. It turned out amazing. I love it. Yeah, the very first day of March was the daddy-daughter dance. So he actually surprised Kalani with her very own mini orchid, and honestly, I couldn't be happier for her, because it's like, he could have brought her flowers and it would have been really sweet, but the fact that he bought her something that she can learn how to take care of and grow and maybe get to rebloom someday is much more special, in my opinion, than just getting, flowers. I'm sorry. I know flowers are beautiful, but orchids are literally my favorite flower, and I don't know how to explain it. It's nice to see that my husband chose something that wasn't just going to be tossed once it died off. Like, we can show her how to keep taking care of it so that it can rebloom. Okay, enough getting into a tangent. I don't know. So I was wanting to travel into my books this day. I didn't feel like journaling a whole lot. As you can see, I didn't even fill out a to-do list that day. So yeah, I just been reading Tower of Dawn for this one. I don't know. I thought it was cute. So like I probably spent most of my day reading that day. So then I did filming this day, doing my February flip through, and then I got a Mooncat nail polish, which is the one I'm currently wearing. It came from a seller that was just trying to get rid of it, and I was so excited about it. We watched the movie Titan this day. And then I did a little bit of reading before falling asleep, but not as much as I would have liked because, you know, reading. Coco has a half day on this day, and I had parent-teacher conferences this day. So I got everything ready so that when my husband came home, he didn't have to touch anything for dinner. I would do it all as soon as I got back from her parent-teacher conference. So this Wednesday was a big day. I think you can kind of see by the picture that I doodled. It's something, okay? I've had very bad experiences in the past with birth controls, so this was a very big moment, kind of actually terrifying me in a way. Because I knew that once it was placed that they wouldn't take it out for some time until my body, you know, reacted badly or something. So yes, I got an IUD on this day, and I did it because of, you know, not wanting to have another surprise like Kobe was. So that was a big thing for this day. So definitely gone through my ups and downs with it so far, but so far everything's been doing good. Time to catch up in my journals and do some reading and a nice warm bath. Alrighty, so somebody was thirsty. So I liked this day too because I used a little note page to write in my to-dos because I didn't have very many. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I make the to-dos cute by adding this? And then I liked the little stamps that I put in with it. And I finished Tower of Dawn this day. The girls and I went to the store because I ran out of creamer. And let's see. Oh, this was the day that Helen sneaked her fountain pen collab. Oh my goodness. I couldn't handle it. I'm gonna have to do a lot of convincing. It's not the release yet, but we will see if I end up being able to convince him enough. So fingers crossed. Wish me some luck in the comments because I would love to have a Esterbrook SD. I was looking at it a long time ago, and the fact that Helen has a SD in that, you know, I can't get over it. It's so cute. Okay, so then this day, money. We did our taxes on March 7th. So yeah, we had to get all of that. Hubby made a comment. Now this was the first time I did my makeup in a while. He made a comment saying I looked like I've been beat. My face had been super red since the IUD. So something, I don't know what it was, but my IUD was causing my face to be like bright red, and it was actually kind of scary. Like I thought I would be calling them and they would have to remove it, but it ended up going away after this day, I think. And then I started getting cozy and I was reading Light Lark. So I tried to do a little doodle of Light Lark as well. I'm not very good at doodling, but I'm working on it. That's one of the things I wanted to try really hard to do in this planner. So this is another little doodle that I attempted. This is my Hoya Cartesii blooming. So I will actually put a picture in for you guys to see like what it's supposed to look like. Definitely not close, but I think it's still really cute, and I thought it added a little bit of color to my page. But yeah, I ended up finding that as I was watering some plants, so I almost missed these blooms. Then I did more reading time. I think I've spent a lot of time reading this month, but I was also doing a lot of like plant care and things that I normally put off. I was trying to get done. So the basement, I was organizing the basement this Sunday. I tried to make it so that you could at least walk through to every single window down there so you didn't trip over things. And I am stuck between trying to get rid of all of the baby clothes after Kobe is done with them, and it's gonna be a mess because I'm gonna go through those clothes and then start crying, and it'll be a whole deal. But I'm gonna try to get rid of the baby clothes after Kobe and only save a few pieces, I guess, just in case. Not because I don't think we will, but I just in case. So I finished Light Lark this day, and then I finished Reckless this day. As soon as I got a email saying that I could be an ARC reader for a book, I just wanted to get my list of books done so that as soon as it was in my Kindle, I could hurry up and finish it. So because this was a physical book because my husband got that for Valentine's Day, but this one was a Libby loan, and I wanted to make sure that I read the Libby loan before I started Immortal Origins. So yeah, it was boom, 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 trying to get them done. Says, Kobe had me up in the middle of the night last night, so I must have said or something because I woke up a lot later than planned, causing Coco to miss her bus. Oops. My morning became very rushed because after that I had to drop her off and then head to Kinsey's appointment, which went well. She weighs 22 pounds now. She gained 2 pounds since her last appointment. And then they started March's reading month for school. And so we've been doing a lot of reading with her. She's gotten a lot faster with her reading. It doesn't take her almost 20 minutes to finish a almost 5-minute book. So that's a lot better. Warning. Oh, this was because I spent the entire day reading Immortal Origins. I finished almost the entire thing. 90% of the way through. I wanted so badly to continue and just finish it off because I think I only had like an hour and a half left, but it was already midnight and I just knew if I kept reading that I might not wake up to my alarm. So that was really disappointing. I was so close to finishing it in one day, but I did finish it right away Thursday morning because nothing was on my to-do list. I needed to finish that ARC book first. Like I just needed to finish that first before I did any of my to-dos. But yeah, so I wrote, this book will steal your breath and rattle your bones, magic pouring through the pages, leaving you crawling back for more. The details on each page did not disappoint. I'm not kidding you guys. This was one of my top reads of 2025 so far. I will highly recommend this book. As soon as September 3rd comes, you need to get yourself, get your hands on it. It is amazing. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the cover just because I am not a red fan. There's reasons behind why I hate red, but I did not judge the book by its cover. I dove right into it and it was amazing. Oh, okay. So this day was sunny and 75. So hello sunshine. We had a doctor's appointment for Kobe this day, which when we got there, Kinsey thought it was for her. So she had a major meltdown. It was a mess. So Then I started reading Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by the end of the day. Back to work. This was the very first day I went back to work. I was shocked because it was the first time in a very long time that I needed to wake myself up by 4 in the morning. So I woke myself up. Thankfully, I was able to feed Kobe before leaving for work. I pumped using a handheld pump all the way, or not handheld, a hands-free pump all the way to work, so that just in case I didn't get a chance to pump while at work, I was set. And we made triple sec chicken for dinner, and that was delicious. Oh, that was the first time I've ever made that. That was so good. Yeah. I also washed my car this day. Even though it was kind of rainy and yucky out, I still washed it because it had been a long time since I washed it, and I can just pull it into the garage at work and wash it after I was done with my shift. So yeah, I kind of forgot the TMC sale this day. Yeah, I had just gotten home from work, and I was, trying to make myself some lunch, the girls, get them something to eat. And Kalani ended up getting sick this day. There was vomit everywhere in the bathroom, and then I had to step over it to get the middle one, because she was stuck in the corner of the bathroom crying because she didn't know what was going on. It was a disaster. So yeah, this day we ended up going to the store as a family, and then as soon as we got home, Kalani just she was like, I have to go to bed, Mom. I'm tired. I don't feel good anymore, because she was fine in the morning when we all went to the store. But then as soon as we got home, she said, I'm gonna go take a nap. And I was like, okay. And we made homemade pizza this day. So I put that in there, and I felt so bad because this was something that Kalani really likes. She loves pizza, and when I went and woke her up for dinner, she told me that she was not hungry, and she rolled back over and fell back asleep. So that was really heartbreaking to see. But I know I've done it before myself, so I've been there. She would be okay eventually. So I was gonna try planting lavender in 3 days. Wish me luck. This might be a disaster. I'm still waiting on it to start. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's probably not going to work, because I didn't have any success last year when I was trying to grow lavender from seed. That might just be a plant that I will have to purchase as a plant already. So yeah, and then I used Helen's little design from her YouTube channel when she was doodling all of her flowers to make this. I thought it was super cute. And then Monday, I love to start my week off watching the Cozy Plant Lady on YouTube. Her name is Fern. She is the sweetest, most deserving, planty person I've ever seen online. I think she is such a sweetheart, and if you've never checked out her channel and you are a planty person, I'd highly recommend checking Fern out. I love her vlogs. I am obsessed with her vlogs. I want to do vlogs like that someday. It'd be so cute. I love it. I enjoy watching her vlogs every Monday or every Sunday whenever she comes out with a new one. Sometimes, it doesn't happen every week, but I do enjoy making sure I get my nice warm coffee and I'm enjoying it on the big screen. I can't get over it. She's such a sweetheart. But yes, so I did a lot of reading, and I thought it was really cool to make it look kind of like I don't know, my letters are different. I don't know if you can tell, but each box wrote a separate letter, and then I skipped one when it was the end of that word. So I thought it was kind of cute. It took up a lot of space, but I don't think it looked too terrible. It was something fun and something different. It's been 3 days. I haven't journaled in 3 days. So I actually picked up these once Saturday. Yeah. So I did all of that extra or back journaling on this day. And then I scrubbed the tub because I knew we were having company coming over. So this is when I started getting into like deep cleaning, household chores, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So if you'll see big letters a lot more often because I am trying to keep moving around the house and not sitting down and journaling and wasting time. So big letters during the times that I'm busy. Let's see, let me get Kinsey down so she will hopefully start to quiet down again, and fingers crossed I can get through the rest of my flip through. Alrighty, so coffee was a must this day. Tell me why yesterday was 69 degrees Fahrenheit and today it's snowing again. Ugh. So I decided to make soup because my mother-in-law and sister-in-law were supposed to be coming down Thursday, and I wanted to have something, you know, warm for them when they arrived. So I started the soup early in the morning, and they ended up deciding not to come down because she was having car troubles. And I even made a fresh loaf of bread for them, everything. I was like, house is clean. I don't really have to do anything besides prep for dinner. And yeah, they told me they weren't coming. Like the soonest they would be here would be Friday. So I wrote on here, I'm like, happy Friday. I needed to reschedule an appointment that I was supposed to be going to like this next week. But they had sent me a message. They needed me to reschedule. So I was still waiting to hear from my sister-in-law and mother-in-law about them coming down. So what I ended up doing was taking that soup and warming it back up with the crock pot and having it again because my husband decided not to come home as well because he would have to leave really, really early in the morning just to be to work for Friday. So it was just me and the girls eating the soup, and I was like, there's just so much left over. I was planning on 3 other adults eating as well, so I made that, and yeah. But it still tasted really good the second day, so. But yeah, I was getting my ducks in a row. I said, thankfully, most of my ducks are already in a row since I spent last few days getting ready for them to come down to visit. All I had to do was just wash some comforters and extra blankets. So yeah, they arrived after 9 p.m. Coco and Kinsey were already in bed. Gage was playing his game. I meant to write game. And Kobe and I relaxed on the couch until they got here, 60% of the way through my Kindle book. So these 2 days, I had to come back and do my journaling because I didn't really pull out my journal to, you know, to be journaling while they were visiting. So I ended up taking some of my vellum from the Sterling Ink subscriptions from last year, and I ripped it up and then I burned it. I thought that was gonna be really cute. Probably not very good to inhale burned vellum, but it was very small, you know, burns here and there. So I thought it was really, really cute. Now, mind you, I had to like wipe it down before sticking it in my planner because of the like residue that it would leave behind. So this was also something that Kinsey had gotten a hold of, and she dipped it in water. So this already kind of has like a crunchiness to it, but I just added a little bit of water and wiped it down so that way it wouldn't transfer any of this brown like burnt stuff onto my pages. But we went and tried to go out for dinner on this day. We had a 2+ hour wait. So it was crazy. We got there, they said, yeah, we'll seat you as soon as we can. They never once mentioned that we would be waiting at least 2 hours if we had to go behind all of the parties that were ahead of us. And me having 3 kids just chilling in the waiting room along with the rest of our party, it was kind of frustrating to hear them say, you know, because we had waited 45 minutes and then one of our family members went up and was like, so how much longer are we looking at? And he's like, well, I can't give you a time frame, but right now we're waiting on 2 more parties. So one party was for 6 and the other party was for 6:30. And so she got kind of upset because she's like, you see us, we've been here for over an hour and you could have seated us before the very first party, but decided to wait, and because they had reservations. So we understood that. But like now we have to wait for 2 more parties that had, you know, made reservations when you could have mentioned to us that it could possibly be a 2-hour long wait. You didn't even mention, you know, other parties. So that was like extremely frustrating. We ended up leaving and going and getting Mexican food because they seated us like within 10 minutes of us arriving. So yeah, it was a long day. I had this really cute, can you say dinosaur? I had this really cute dinosaur sticker from Marshmallow Studio that I wanted to add in for that. And then on this day, once my mother-in-law and sister-in-law left, my husband and I did some budgeting over the tax return money, what we were planning on doing with it. And the majority of it is actually going to be going into our basement. We're gonna try to finish that this year. But we did have a little bit of extra spending money, which allowed my husband to purchase something that he really has been eyeballing for a very long time. And I know he's been eyeballing it for a long time because I've heard about it since we even, you know, started our relationship. So I told him yes, but under one condition. If I could get possibly a new fountain pen. And he's like, well, how much is that? And so I had to explain to him, you know, what it is and why I really wanted it. And so we'll see. I got my fingers crossed, but I think I might have convinced him. But yeah, so then we're gonna go into these days and they're just kind of normal. I was trying really hard not to use a washi every single day. So I've been testing out different things, writing a little bit more, allowing myself, you know, the chance to not use washi every day because I feel like it's very like typical for me to have washis all over my pages. So I was definitely trying something a little new this month. Sorry. She is being a stinker. Okay. Oh, we are sliding. I hope I didn't ruin this. My phone is so much thicker than the iPhone, so it's actually having a very hard time staying put in the tripod that I have it on. So that'll be something I need to purchase very soon before my phone falls out of it. This day was Wednesday. This is our sleep-in day throughout the week. And I was trying to do a theme here with like yellow stickers, which ended up being really easy in a way. So I used like the yellow sunshine, I used the yellow mug, and then I actually found some of my old kit, the Valentine's kit from the Coffee Monsters Co. for the little pizza. Oops. My mom and dad came over for pizza this day. They also brought me a wicker chair that I've been wanting that my aunt was getting rid of. So they brought over the wicker chair, and then yeah, just a bunch of other stuff that I have left at my parents' house. So this was a yellow washi from the Marshmallow Studio. It was one of their spring, I think, washies. And then I used this little washi here, and this was like a Coffee Monsters Co. morning, washi. This was the day that Kalani had her 6-year appointment. Now on this day, I actually forgot about her appointment, and I didn't realize it until I had sent her to school, and I was sitting down with my journal, and I looked and I'm like, wait a second, she's supposed to go to the doctor's today. So I ended up having to call and reschedule, which was not something I like to do, but there would have not been enough time for me to get the girls up and in the car and go pick up Kalani and then head to the doctor's office. It would have taken me longer than an hour, but yeah, I was able to get my plant video up that day. But back to this one. So yes, I tried to keep it with like a yellowish orangey theme, because as you can see, there's some orange here, so I put some orange here. We ended up getting McDonald's on the way home from her appointment, or on the way back to her school. So I used a sticker that came in one of the Happy Meals from Kinsey's Happy Meal. So that was really cute, because I never had a little McDonald's sticker. That was so cute. I didn't have to draw it myself. I did try to doodle the Mooncat logo for nail polishes. That was a fail. It didn't really look very good, but that's okay. I definitely did a lot of reading this day and read The Kingdom of Ash. While my mother-in-law and sister-in-law came down, I really didn't do much reading, so I was trying to catch up on that too. And then this day, I didn't completely finish. Kinsey and I were playing with my planners and whatnot, and she was coloring, so I put her little masterpiece here because I gave her one of my little sticky notes and she colored on it. And I gave myself some planning time. This day was another work day, so I noted that in my planner being like super dark going into town still in the morning. And then I had a quick trip to the store with Kalani. We picked up Rosalie's birthday present, and I went looking for Nightbane, but they only had one in stock and it wasn't where the book section was, so either somebody had it in their cart or somebody set it down somewhere throughout the store, which was really, really, really disappointing. But, it is what it is. I'll find it at a different store. And then I spent some time reading. Okay, and then my phone feels like it's gonna fall out. This day, I did nothing really at all. I spent some time editing my April setup. Oh my goodness, this house is getting a little hectic, so thankfully I'm almost done. But on Sunday, March 30th, Kalani and I got some watercolor paint out, and I tried to watercolor paint up here. I'm not very good at it. I don't consider myself an artist by any means, obviously. But I thought this turned out somewhat cute. I kind of made it look like a washi strip up at the top. And yeah, I didn't make a list for to-dos either. I don't know, I just kind of went with whatever I felt like doing. I did want to get my April setup video up on this day, so like it could be like my normal Sunday upload. And then I made like a crock pot dinner on this day, so I got that all set up. And then Kalani started getting bored right around the time that both Kobe and Kinsey were taking a nap, so me and her actually headed outside and we adjusted a 50 some odd pound rock to a spot that we could put like carrots and apples and stuff out for the deer. So we did that, and then while we were outside, can I have that? While we were outside, I actually replanted my apple tree because my apple tree kind of fell over just before winter hit, and then the ground froze and I couldn't fix it. So I decided to do that because it was going to rain. So I thought, you know, the perfect day to do it is just before it rains, so it kind of waters in. There was no roots on that tree, so I have very little hope that it will reroot itself, but then again, I've never planted trees before, so maybe, just maybe, it will be okay. And then as soon as we came inside, I, you know, did some journaling, and then it downpoured like crazy. It started thunderstorming. We got a warning on our phone saying severe thunderstorm, that there was a tornado that touched down in like more north of us. But yeah, we ended up losing power this day from like 6 p.m. until like 2 or 3 in the morning. So, and it was crazy because I had this feeling right before that warning came on that we were going to lose power today, or that day. So I was like, come on girls, we got to get in the bath, we got to get ourselves ready. And I'm so grateful I had a crock pot meal because that was done just on time. So the girls got out of the bath. We ended up sitting down for dinner, and as soon as we sat down for dinner, the lights went out. Everything, power was off. Yeah. This day, we were woken up by the lights and stuff. I, for some odd reason, overslept, but thankfully I was still able to get Kalani on the bus on time. It just was a very rushed morning. And then for most of my books, when I finish them, I write, you know, in like this. I thought it'd be really cute to use one of the little sticky notes. So I used a sticky note for this book. I finished Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. That one ended super sweet. So I did enjoy it. It was kind of boring at certain points, but I did enjoy that book. And then that's when I decided I was going to start Crescent City, the series. And then so the first book in that series is House of Earth and Blood. And boy, am I going to need a chart because there's like so many characters. All right, so many characters. But then we get into this. This is a little bit new. You guys haven't seen this yet. But I decided to write out like my plant to-do list for the month, like things I would like to get done for the month. So I did March's right here, and then I'm doing April's right here. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna write down things that I want to do for my plants. So that way I have kind of a list going and I don't forget anything. But yeah, so that's a little bit new. You guys might have seen a little bit of it when I was doing my setup for April. But yeah, so this is the end of my journals. I did have to fill out a few things over here in the like yearly overview, but other than that, I also added like a favorite verse area for some of my daily verses, and this is my all-time favorite verse. So that's what I was gonna do with some of the extra pages back here. And then I thought maybe because the Crescent City series has a lot of characters that maybe I'd go in and kind of write out some of the characters there. And then for my washi graveyard, she's still looking pretty, not super hectic just yet, but we're getting there. But yeah, so that is it for the month of March. I hope you enjoyed this little flip through or long flip through. And I apologize for all of the noises. I'm hoping that the microphone helped out just a little bit as far as making my voice a little more clear and the outside noises a little less distracting. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.